Hi, Sheryl here with Joyly Studios. It's so nice to be back because I'm with one of the most joyful humans on the earth. So, Dhomonique, why don't you just give a minute or two of your beautiful background if you can, and just introduce yourself to our folks.
Sure, Sheryl. Well, thank you first and foremost for having me on your program. It's such an honor. I love what you are doing. You're inspiring so many people, not just in the nation, but around the world. So thank you. I'm Dhomonique Murphy. I am a mom. I have two small boys, ages 2 and 1. But my background, I am a journalist by profession. I've worked all over the country from coast to coast as a television host and news anchor, and have done that my entire life. I started TV very young. I was 14 years old when I got an opportunity to host an entertainment television show similar to an Entertainment Tonight on the NBC network in Minneapolis, where I'm from.
Wow.
Fell in love with talking and working with people and interacting and engaging, and I knew that's what I wanted to do for a career. So started, never stopped. Here I am today, fast forward a few years, and here we are. Recently I was honored to earn the title of Mrs. Virginia American 2020, and I'm the founder, thank you, I'm the founder of a couple of things, a nonprofit called Readers to Leaders, where we put thousands of books into the hands of children in underserved communities. And my for-profit is called The Right Method, and that's RIGHT, therightmethod.com. And I created The Right Method actually in 2013. And I always tell folks, you have to be fully ready to be an entrepreneur. You have to have the mindset to know that that's what you're going to do. And at the time, it was more of I'm going to start a company, I think. And when that little part, I think, comes to play, it usually will not happen because you get talked out of it. You're not fully ready. Fast forward 6 years, it was time. And I wanted to find my joy. I wanted to find my purpose, and my purpose is to empower people to know they are excellent. One thing as a journalist that is such a privilege, I call it a privilege because it truly is. People allow you to come into their homes in the most intimate settings imaginable, and they pour out to you their trust. They tell you things that they don't tell other people, and that's something I don't take lightly. And I found that people were really searching. They were lost in trying to find this tool to have joy, to have fulfillment, but just didn't know how to do it. And I discovered that people want 5 things. Everyone's looking for the same 5 things: health, wealth, financial independence, respect, and purpose. You'll never find anyone who will tell you they want to be broke and sick, okay? That just doesn't happen, and it never will happen.
Sorry. Could you do that again? And I'm going to go out. There are 5 things.
Okay.
Hold on.
There are 5 things that everyone wants in this world. And I discovered this during my journalism career. Everyone wants fulfillment, right? But in order to do it, Sheryl, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
So I'll just start on the full screen. I just want to make sure I'm.
Yes, you're doing it perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. I introduced you, but I was going to ask the question, so I didn't take myself out, but you're doing such good stuff. I want to take my stuff out. Okay. So just continue on with that sentence, but there are 5 things that we'll maybe start with for people to find their fulfillment and their joy. That there are 5 things. Yeah. Perfect. You're doing great. Ready?
Of course. Yeah.
Okay.
As a journalist, you get invited into the homes of individuals who will share the most intimate things in their lives. They trust you and they open up to you in ways that most people don't get the opportunity to see. And I consider that a really true privilege. One thing I discovered after talking to many, many people is that everyone is looking for the same 5 things. Every single person. That's love, health, financial independence, purpose, and respect. No one will sit there and tell you they want to be broke and sick. And so I started digging into this a little bit more. Okay, we all want the same 5 things. We all want the same 5 things. And what they all lead to is one word. It's joy. It's fulfillment. You are healthy. You have financial independence. You feel like you are respected and you have a reason to be here in this world of purpose. Then you have joy. So I wanted to create a company to really help people reset their minds and understand that it is attainable. So often, people, if you ask, they will say, they'll give you 1,000 reasons why they can't do something. I'm not pretty enough. I don't have the money. I don't have the family backing. I don't have the support. I don't. And we are programmed from the very infancy of our lives that we are not supposed to ask for more. We are not supposed to be loud and say what we want, and to self-love, to say I am amazing and I love myself, because that is seen as a negative in our society. And that goes back to programming. So I wanted to create a company that allows people to be free, that allows them to have joy, that allows them, it gives them the permission to say, I am worthy, I am great, and I can be whatever I want to be. That's my biggest thing. There's so many people who don't believe they can do it, whatever it is. And it is possible. It's very, very, very possible. But the first thing is the belief system. And that starts with your mindset. So the right method was created to empower individuals as well as companies to reach their highest potential. And I'm so, so, so happy that we are out there. We are inspiring as many people as we can on a day-to-day basis. And I am all about it, because we are creating joy in the lives of so many people, Sheryl.
That's fabulous. I just got goosebumps thinking about the work in the world that I've been really working on for 30 years. And joy is serious business. I mean, it's not just Christmas time or, maybe one day or someday, right? Joy is every day, all day long, and it's a focus. And I just think that for whatever reason, I think it's just kind of cultured out of us, right? To kind of think that it's for other people, or maybe it's about money or whatever it is. Like, there's all kinds of reasons. So I just have one follow-up question with that, and then I'll get to my list. But the mindset that you speak of, to me, that is, like, so many people have been writing articles and blogs for us, and we talk a lot about mindfulness, right? In order to get to a good mindset, we need to be mindful. And I think that there's this block for people to get over that hump. So what are a couple of the tools that you use to create that mindset?
Absolutely. Well, it's super simple. Folks always ask, how do I do it? It seems so complicated. It's really simple. I want you to just do this. And just look around. It starts with gratitude. There's always something to be grateful for. Even in the darkest days and the worst of times, there's something always to be grateful for. You woke up this morning for a reason. You are so incredibly beautiful and unique. There's not a single person who has the same fingerprints as you on this planet. And there are more than 7 billion people. You are incredible. I don't care if it's as simple as, wow, I have shelter. I have lights. I have clean drinking water. I have a chair to sit on. I have lunch in the refrigerator. It starts with gratitude. And one thing we talk about within the right method, there's actually a strategic way, right? You have to focus on your mindset. But number 2 is gratitude. If you are not grateful, things will not come into you. So in order to have joy, in order to change your mindset, you first and foremost have to start with gratitude. From there, you have to work on self-love. Sheryl, you talked about it. No one's going to love you the way you love yourself. And I will say that again. No one is going to be able to love you to the level that you can and should be able to love yourself. You can't love other people. You can't give fully. You can't live in confidence until you start here. And this is the first place, is to be able to look at yourself in the mirror, affirmations, and be able to say, I am amazing. And the reality is, most people, if you ask them to do that, they can't do it, or they're very uncomfortable. And the reason why goes back to programming. We're told, who do you think you are to think you're amazing, or that you're attractive, or that you're successful or smart or strong? Who do you think you are? So I recommend affirmations, Sheryl. That's another thing that folks can do, and it doesn't cost a penny. Look at yourself in the mirror. I want you to face yourself twice a day, morning and night. And you're going to say 10 times, I am amazing. And what's going to happen? It's called cognitive dissonance. You'll say, I am amazing. And that little voice in your head is going to go, You're not amazing. Who do you think you are? This is really stupid. What's going on? Why are you doing this? Stop wasting your time. You'll hear the whole spiel in that little voice in your head. And that's okay. And it's normal because, again, we've been told and we've been telling ourselves for so many years, I'm not great. I can't do this. I'm not good enough. She's better than I am. He's better than I am. But it's not true. Let's say there's a job, right? So many people will talk themselves out of getting that job because that is their defense mechanism. It's a protection barrier. If I say, oh, I probably won't get the job, and I don't get the job, then I can be okay with that because I've already put it out there, right? Why not you? Someone is going to get blank, whether it's the job, whether it's the opportunity, whether it's that meal, whatever the situation is, someone is going to get it. And why not you? So it starts with your mindset. It starts with being grateful. It starts with being able to gain that self-confidence to know that you are amazing and worthy and can achieve anything you want in your life, but you have to believe it.
I sure hope you have lots of little YouTube videos to play those things over and over again for people, because it's true. People just have to remember what you're saying. We have it all in us. It's just it's the constant reminder and the willingness, right, for people to say, I think that this can be better, and to have hope. And that's why we exist, right?
Absolutely. It's like taking a shower.
Yeah.
It's something that you have to do regularly. It's not a one-time thing. You buy a book or you take a class and then you got it. No, I liken it to a shower. We do it every day, right? It is a continual practice, but it's being mindful, knowing that, okay, I just realized that negative thought came into my being. Let me stop that. Let me change and focus on the positive frame of mind.
It takes practice, lots and lots of practice. I know, I've been practicing for a long time. I just want to acknowledge the fact that, yes, gratitude is where it starts when you want to become joyful. So I always say you can't have one without the other. They go hand in hand. So I would like to take your little look around circle thing, which I thought is just awesome, and add to that, since gratitude is first and then you arrive at joy. So if you don't mind, you just kind of shake your shoulders up for just a second.
Yeah.
One of the things that you said you were grateful for was your chair. So one of the things we have over here at Joyly is something called the Chair of Joy, and it'll be our .org. So we're super excited about that. But if you could just take a deep breath, and I want you to just tap into one extremely joyful moment that you had, whatever that is, wherever that is, whoever you were with. And if you don't mind sharing that, that would be awesome. You can open your eyes if you like.
There's so many things flowing through my mind.
I'm sure.
I'll start with this morning. I'm a mom at heart. I love motherhood. That is who I am, more so than any other thing I've done. Being a mom is my greatest accomplishment, and that will never change, bar none. This morning, I have a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old. Christopher is my 1-year-old, and he woke up extra early this morning, and he has this way about him. He has this magnetic smile. So if you think mine is big, imagine this times 3, okay? Like, he has the brightest smile. And when I came around the corner, he was in his crib like this, ready to see mama. And he just reached out like this. And it was like, the reason why I get so, gosh, and I love these moments because they're real and they're raw. It's just so powerful when we look at children, because babies understand life way more than we do. They do. And it's the simplest things that bring so much joy to a child. It's just incredible. Waking up, seeing mom, getting some milk, he was in the most blissful state. And I look at us as a society, and we constantly fall into times of, oh, this is not right. I'm mad. There's too much traffic. Oh, my key's not working. Oh, I forgot my lunch. These things that don't even matter. The most expensive things in life are actually really, really cheap and can be replaced. It's the things that are free that are priceless. The memories, the moments, the smiles, the interactions that we have with those that we love, that are worth a trillion times their weight in gold. And so I really appreciate you asking that, Sheryl, because yeah, it was just the simple things in life in general. But this morning, just walking around the corner, and he was up and he was just so happy to be alive. He was so happy just to be awake. And it was just the best thing for me to see this morning, because if I can walk and be a quarter of what he is every day, then wow. I mean, wow. My children are my greatest teachers, and they always will be, because they're present, they're joyful, they understand what really matters in this world. And that is so, so beautiful.
Oh, you took my breath away. Isn't it interesting, though, that sometimes I want to thank you for that, to taking a minute and remembering. But isn't it true, based on the busyness, that we forget to sit in just this thing called a chair, anywhere, on a rock, in a mountain, at a picnic table, at a park, whatever it is, and you can tap into that and just cancel out all that other stuff. So thank you for sharing. It really is that simple. All right, I'm going to do these 3 questions with you. I think they're pretty simple. So based on everything I read about you, which is vast, you have such a fabulous career. The one thing that I think just hit me was, how is it that you're able to get people, I'm going to read what I wrote so I don't get it wrong. Tell me about your ability to get anyone to open up about anything. What is your ticket to that, and just what exactly does that mean?
What is the secret sauce? I get asked that a lot. It comes down to authenticity, and that's the only thing that I can use. My whole life, for whatever the reason is, I've been a magnet, and I've been able to tap into individuals no matter who they are. Doesn't matter if they own billion-dollar companies or if they don't have a nickel in their pocket. Male, female, young, older, wiser. It's just been a really big blessing and gift that I have been afforded. People feel very comfortable around me, and that is something I don't take lightly. But I also do my homework. So when I come to an interview, I know a lot about that person, not just what you can read in an article. I do my due diligence and really dig in to get to know them. That is something that I really focus on, is when I'm in an interview, I'm present. It's me and you. There's no other things going on the outside. The phone is turned off. It's me and you. And I take my time, and I get folks to really open up about anything. And that's been one of my gifts. So you put me in a room with somebody, give me 30, 40 minutes, and by the end of it, we're doing all kinds of breakthroughs. I've had people say, I've never ever shared this with anybody before. Or, I've had husbands or wives in the room saying, I never knew this about him or her. So it's just taking the time, showing the interest, and really just having that connectivity. We're all one, and that's one thing we have to understand. It's not me against you or me and you. It's us. We're all one. And so that is something I'm really, truly grateful to be able to do.
Beautiful. I hope I can just have an ounce of that, what that is that you have. You're, like you said, you are a magnet. So the smile, you have a beautiful, beautiful smile.
Thank you. Likewise.
Yeah. So this will not make anything, but I just wanted to, you are mesmerizing, and it's fun because I just one-on-one. I just think that you have to show up. Like, your book is the step one or one of many steps, but I think let's get to that question next. What is the actual reason for Reset, right at your core? What are you asking us to do? And what do you think that the book is going to be sharing?
Absolutely. That's a great question. I wrote Reset for 2 reasons. I wrote it for myself, and not from a selfish standpoint of, I wrote a book for myself. That's not why I wrote a book. I wrote a book for myself, and I wrote a book for everyone else out there. And let me explain what those 2 things mean. So as a journalist, as someone who's always in front of the camera, folks always perceive people that are on television as, oh, their lives are so perfect, and yeah, it must have come easy for you. And I speak to young girls often. And the first thing I always ask is, what do you see when you look at me? And you'll hear things like, oh, you're really nice, and you're pretty, and you have great clothes, and you must have been really easy, and things must just fall into your lap, and things like that. And for the longest time, I kind of just smiled and went along with it, knowing that that was a disservice to anybody out there, because my story is not a woman grows up and gets TV career, and this is her story. It's a lot deeper than that. There have been so many roadblocks. There have been so many obstacles in my journey that I think can really help someone else get to that next level and realize, oh my goodness, I've done that. I've been there. It makes you real. It makes you authentic. So for the first time, I wrote it for myself because I'm unboxing myself to the world for the very first time. And it's so important, and that's why I did it. There's a lot of things in here for everyone watching this, but there's also things in there that are personal stories kind of woven through to help individuals, to help people understand, whoa, she went through this. I can do this. There's one story in particular. I'll give you one of the examples in the book. I don't want to give it all away, but I was working in Cleveland. I was hosting a television show, and the show ended, and I had a text message on my phone from my boss, and it said, "Meet me upstairs now." So I said, "Oh, what's this all about?" So I saw the message, and I proceeded to head upstairs to where all the managers were. I got up to the big conference room where all the managers were. I walk in, and there are 12 members of my team, my coworkers, in this room, just sitting there. And I walked into this, and I said, okay. So I sat down thinking that maybe my boss was going to, announce a retirement or something like that. Well, needless to say, my boss looked at me and said, "That was your last show. You are no longer hosting the show you were on." And this was done in front of every single person in that room. And every person in that room heard this for the very first time. So folks were going, "Oh, what?" And I was sitting there frozen. I was so shocked. I was so humiliated that this was done in front of so many people. And I was embarrassed. And I was so broken. And I just sat there frozen. And my boss said, "Do you have any questions?" And I said, "Yeah, can I see you? Can we talk in private?" So we proceeded into his office, and I said, "I don't understand. Did I do something wrong? Like, did I say something? Like, what happened?" And he looked at me and he said, "No, it's just an executive decision that we have made, but we are going to kind of change things up a little bit." I said, "Okay, do I still have a job?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "Okay, what am I going to do?" He said, "Whatever you want to do. What do you want to do?" And I was confused. I said, "Is this a trick question? Because I want to go back to doing my job that I was hired for. What are my options?" He said, and this is a quote, "You can start reporting, or you can walk out of that door and never come back. Either way, doesn't matter." And I sat there. Whoa. Okay. So I thanked him for his time. I proceeded to my car, and I got in there, and I called my husband, and I just broke down. And I said, "Oh my gosh, you're not going to believe what just happened. What did I do?" I was beside myself, bawling in the car. "How did this happen? I didn't do anything. Did I do something? Like, what did I do?" And my mind was just going 10,000 miles a minute. And so my husband, who was my best friend, he's my rock, he said, "Babe, it's going to be okay. Just come home." And I said, "But babe, he did it in front of all these people, and everyone is, I'm so embarrassed." "Babe, come home." So I went home that night, and we talked it through, and my husband, again, is that guiding force, and he said, "Tomorrow you're going to go back into the office, and you're going to be a reporter, and you're going to dress to the nines. You're going to own this role." And I was hesitant. I said, "Well, what people are going to think I'm..." He's like, "It doesn't matter what people think. What do you think? Go back in there and show people why you rise to the occasion." So I went back in the next day, dressed to the nines. I was ready. And I walked into the office and everybody was, oh, Dome, I'm so sorry. That's fine. Hey, Dome, are you okay? I'm fabulous. I can't believe you're here. Why would I not be here? This is my job. Dome, this is BS. They did you so wrong. Not, did they? So I went into the morning meeting and the assistant news director said, does anyone have any story ideas today? First one. I said, I do. And the whole room looked over because it was the elephant in the room thing, but I didn't let that become my story. I said, I have a story, and I pitched this story about it was a story focused on a heroin addict. And there was this program coming into the Cleveland area. And by the grace of God, I ended up getting an addict to go on camera who was getting ready to start his journey to releasing himself from the traumas that were through the drug industry, the drug ring. And he agreed to go on camera and show his face, which does not happen hardly ever in television. So I had this story that ended up being the top story that night, and it just went beautifully. So that is how it all started. My title became reporter, but I didn't own the title. So when folks would say, oh, you're a reporter, I would say, no, I'm an anchor who happens to be reporting. No, you're not, you're a reporter. No, I'm an anchor who happens to be reporting. And I kept that very clear, and I never changed my positioning on that. I'm in this role right now to grow and to learn and to be as strong as I can in this, but this is a season of my life and it doesn't define who I am. So I decided to make a shift, a paradigm change, that this was a role that I was going to grow and learn in. So I started reporting, covering all kinds of in-depth stories, local stories, and the Republican National Convention came into town. Dhomonique, you're covering that in the field. No problem. So I went out there. It was very intense. We had to wear bulletproof vests, and my assignment was to be on the front lines in the protests. And so I was out there covering the story, and there was a big brawl that broke out in Cleveland, and I was the reporter that was right inches away from where it happened. And so I was going live, doing coverage of what was happening, what we were seeing on the scene. And when I finished my report that day, my live reports, I went back to the office and my boss said, wow, where did that come from? And I said, it's always been there. You just didn't see it. And so he's like, no, I guess I didn't. So that event led to, long story short, I want to shrink this down so I don't take up too much time, but that event led to my very first Emmy award. This one right here is from that story. That Emmy right there is from me taking what I perceived at the time as the worst thing that could have happened to me and what it turned into was the absolute best thing that could have happened to me. This is what launched my journalism career. That award, that first Emmy on my shelf. And so this is just a message to anyone out there of me sharing this joy, of me sharing this story, that oftentimes what is seen as something so bad, so bad, so tough, so negative, oh my goodness, I can't believe this happened, can turn out to be the absolute best thing that could happen to you. So that's one story from the book, Sheryl, and I just wanted to really be able to share these elements with people to know, because it makes you real and it makes you relatable. And what happened was 3 years after that event, I actually sent that boss, we're good friends now, I sent him an email and I said, thank you. And he wrote me back and he said, Dhomonique, I said should I keep going?
Sure.
Oh,
Dhomonique, he said, Dhomonique.
What's that?
You said, your boss said, Dhomonique.
Yes, so my boss said, Dhomonique, wow, thank you for writing that. That really means a lot that you would write something like that to me. And I said, it's true. Because even though at the time it felt like the worst thing that could have happened to me, it was because of you. You pushed me to do better. You pushed me to strive. I was complacent. I was just going through the motions in my job. But he was the one, we were behind the curtain, if you will, on Broadway. And he pushed me through and said, go. And I was there like, okay, let's make this happen. So
I love that
is somebody who really has made a big impact.
And what's your husband's name?
My husband's name is Frank.
So Frank and you having that conversation that next morning that says, I'm going to get up today and I'm going to own this role. Like, I bet you look back at that moment, not as a time of, pure dread and rock bottomness, but ultimately it was a joyful moment because you switched it up because it was all about mindset. And that's the power that we have to create a joyful life. So thank you for sharing that story. That was beautiful.
Thank you, Sheryl.
Many of us have lots of obstacles. Someday we'll just sit down and talk about obstacles. I would love to hear them all. So the last question I have for you today is, I get that you are the kind of human that makes joy a priority, that you believe that it's serious business to focus on it every single day, because that's how it impacts your relationships and your success, your Emmys, your next step in life, the success of your book. So if you don't mind, if you could just talk to that a little bit, I would love it.
Absolutely. Joy is a choice. I'll say it again. Joy is a choice. Make it a great day or not. The choice is yours. Okay? I like to say that. It's a choice. Subconsciously, I know it's hard for a lot of folks to say or to understand that, but that's what I really want to work on. It is a choice. In the worst days of your life, you have a choice. You can choose to feel bad. You can choose to allow something that happens to make you feel bad. Okay, someone says something, you can choose to feel bad, or you can say, that person said something, I didn't quite like it, but you know what? It's not going to take my power away. It's not going to make me feel bad. I live in joy. I walk in joy. Now, I say that, but I do understand this is something that has to be worked on time and time again. It's not something that you say, okay, bink, and then it works, okay? You have to make that a priority, that you want to feel good. Who wants to feel bad? I know I don't, ever. I don't want to feel bad or sad or mad. Now, does it happen? Of course it happens. I'm a human, right? We're all humans. We're all going to face these times in our lives that make us feel really sad and blue and low or upset, right? But the thing is, you have a choice. So if you start to feel that way, choose to feel better. Do something small, whether it's going to go get that ice cream cone or whether it's watching a video on your phone that makes you smile. They're very simple steps that can really change how you feel. The book Reset, the tagline on it is AIE, and this is something that I live by. It stands for attitude is everything. And if there's anything I can stress more than anything, it is your attitude. And that goes back to your choice. You can choose to feel bad. You can choose to be mean to other people out there because somebody was mean to you. Or you can choose to share your light with the world. You are a gift on this planet, and everyone else is as well. And if you can do one thing each day, just one thing, to make somebody smile, it can be as simple as holding the door for the person behind you. Then you've done your job.
Woo! All right, I'm going to have to let you go, but I have way more than enough material. Do you want me to run it all by you, or are you okay with me popping little things out?
I sure am. Yeah, make it your own, Sheryl. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. If you don't mind, I'll use a little in social media too, because maybe just today I'll maybe put something on LinkedIn and just say I'm going to your reset party tonight.
Oh, I'd love that. Thank you.
Sure. And finally, what was I going to say? Will you be my spokesperson? Oh my God, you say joy better than anybody I've spoken with. So thank you for that. That was great.
Of course, that's what it's all about. Thank you for the opportunity, Sheryl. This was so much fun.
Yeah, it was fun. All right, and then Christopher and Frank, and what's your husband's name? Your other son. Your other son.
The old is Christian.
Christian.
The
Okay.
1-year-old is Christopher.
Okay. And if you could just email me your address, I would love to send you a token of appreciation. I'm kind of doing this, like I see your color is gold and mostly, right?
White and gold, yeah.
Same as me, only, yeah, a little more on the yellow side. So anyway, I'd like to send you a gold scarf, and I don't know what's on your chair, but if you wouldn't mind once in a while putting it on your chair.
Oh, I'd love to.
Just to remind people to sit in their joy. It's kind of like something we can all do that's super easy just to remember.
I love that, Sheryl. Whatever I can do for you, I love what you are doing. That is so
incredible. Well, I asked C-Suite if we could do a summit on January 1. It's a Friday, and it's, of course, most people aren't doing anything, but I want to interview like 30 people, and maybe you'll consider that. But just all throughout the day, you'll have your scarf, and then you could kind of say, I'm sitting in my joy, and just remind people how to do that. So
love that. Beautiful.
All right.
Thanks, Sheryl.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too.